Fpyq Jiang. Chapter 28. Yuè Pass. Once Shang Guanling had left the room, Li Chen took his seat by Qi Yunruo. He noticed that the youth's expression was not good and stroked his cheek. "Don't be like this, Your Highness," said Qi Yunruo. Li Chen smiled. "Are you still angry?" "No." Previously, Qi Yunruo's face had been dark. After Li Chen had kicked that other young man out, Qi Yunruo's expression relaxed a little. It brought a bit of joy to Li Chen's heart. He did not continue that line of conversation. Qi Yunruo asked, "Did your honored self come across trouble when trying to gather the military rations?" He had not been paying attention to Shang Guanling and Li Chen's conversation earlier. However, he had seen the looks on their faces, and assumed a problem had arisen on their mission. "There's no need to worry. I have a plan." Right now, he wanted to know who this Luo County magistrate affiliated to, wanted to know who gave him the courage to make trouble for Zhao Weidu. Or, perhaps the one they wanted to trouble was Prince Chun? After Li Chen had requested to make for the border, the Empress was also privy to this fact. She even supplied him some men. Following that, Li Chen did not specifically tell anyone where he was headed, nor did he purposely hide this fact. Still, he did not openly and honestly showcase his status as a prince in the army. The Luo County magistrate was surnamed He. 2 years ago, he worked in the Ministry of Justice as a low-ranking clerk. After he had arrived at Luo County, he received a decent evaluation. Li Chen did not pay attention to this person back then. 2 years ago, the people that wanted the position of Luo County magistrate were the Zhou family, the Yuan family, the people who belonged to Prince Jing, the people who belonged to Li Chen, and who else? In conclusion, controlling Luo County was equivalent to controlling half of the military rations for the northwest border. After thinking over these matters, Li Chen felt relieved. Shang Guanling should have already sent someone to explain things to Zhao Weidu. And Zhao Weidu had connections with people who naturally had methods in finding out who wanted to cause him trouble. If Luo County's magistrate spread news about what he had advised Zhao Weidu's men to do, and Zhao Weidu actually followed the advice, Zhao Weidu would be finished. The room arranged by Xianya was of a decent quality. Large and bright. After Li Chen and Qi Yunruo bathed, they lay on the bed. Li Chen sighed deeply. "After this night, we will continue to sleep in the tent." Qi Yunruo smiled. "Actually, sleeping in the tent isn't too bad. It isn't as cold as before and I can sleep with peace of mind." Li Chen rubbed his belly. "Did you eat well today?" When he had first arrived at his room, Qi Yunruo and that young man were glaring daggers at one another. It didn't seem like he had a good meal. "I'm full. How about you? Was Luo County's mutton delicious?" Li Chen sighed. "I didn't get to eat much of it. I wasn't paying attention to the taste." He narrowed his eyes. "That's right, we need to take a lot of sheep with us when the time comes. On the road, we can roast lamb whole." A smile tugged on Qi Yunruo's lips. He nodded. Li Chen saw that he had smiled until his eyes resembled crescents. Such a sight caused Li Chen's heart to tremble. He leaned down to kiss Qi Yunruo, one hand slipping beneath his clothes. The next day, Li Chen met with Luo County's magistrate once more, the latter's expression appearing very natural. Then, without mincing his words, Li Chen said, "Our leading general loves the people like his own children. He has never encroached on the interests of the civilians in the slightest, nor have we ever taken their grain. Sir, just say it directly. Apart from the grain meant for the next planting season, how much can Luo County give us?" Sir, he sighed. "There are only 60 million liters of grain." He had calculated before. General Zhao had 100,000 men. For this harvest, they had collected 150 million liters of grain, and Shang Guanling said the army needed at least 100 million liters. But Li Chen only smiled. "All right. Then we want that 60 million liters of grain." Luo County's magistrate froze. He narrowed his eyes, falling into his thoughts for a moment. In a low voice, he said, "Since General Li has said it like this, we can only hand over 60 million liters." Good. The heart of Luo County's magistrate trembled. However, he could not take back his words. His master had ordered him to drag out the process as long as he could. That there would definitely be a chance to cause Zhao Weide to be punished for delaying his troops to the border. How could they manage to gather 150 million liters of grain? Once his thoughts came to this, he felt relieved. His tone grew more arrogant. "Since the general has said this, should we weigh and package the rations now?" Li Chen smiled and nodded. "I'll be troubling Sir He. This subordinate still has one condition. The famous Luo County mutton that Sir He had served us yesterday was very delicious. Since Sir He sincerely wants to add to our army rations, this subordinate will not reject the goodwill. How does 500 sheep sound, Sir He?" Once more shock strike the Luo County's magistrate. Gritting his teeth, he said, "General must be joking, saying 500. The most we can deliver is 100 sheep." "Then 100 it is," said Li Chen without missing a beat. In the afternoon, 60 million liters of grain left the county gates. The uneasiness in the heart of Luo County's magistrate grew all the more rampant. Li Chen had yet to follow his men out the gates, waiting until Shang Guanling brought a letter over. He opened and read it, before breaking into a smile. "Now that we have 60 million liters from Luo County, 100 million liters from Qingluo County, and 75 million liters from Miluo County, we will be fine for 3 months in the northwest." Shang Guanling said, "General Zhao has already written the memorial to grant a reward for the magistrates of those 3 counties. Sir, he should just wait for the reward from the court." The moment Luo County's magistrate heard those words, his eyes widened as he was stunned on the spot. Absolute victory! Li Chen was in high spirits as he left to meet up with the army. Though the army had already moved out, it was not too far from the gates. After learning that the army rations were secured, General Zhao gave the order to move out, said Chu Qing. "He said that we already wasted a couple days, so we have to pick up the pace now." Li Chen nodded. He glanced at Qi Yunruo. Although he himself was fine with the rushed pace, he did not know if Qi Yunruo would be able to endure it. Yet Qi Yunruo broke into a smile. "Don't worry about me. I'll be fine." "All right." The army started to speed up. Zhao Weide made the order that they must reach Yuè Pass in 4 days. There was no time to roast the sheep Li Chen had obtained. Every day, Qi Yunruo rode a horse and watched as the cooks herded the sheep to follow the army. He found it interesting. Prince Chun cheated Luo County's magistrate of 60 million liters of grain and even 100 sheep. It was truly out of expectations. Once General Zhao's memorial reached the court, it appeared Luo County was no longer superior to the other counties in grain production. Perhaps the capital would send inspectors there to investigate. If they discovered Luo County had hidden extra rations, Luo County's punishment would only be a matter of time. Yuè Pass had sent garrison troops and civilians to open up the surrounding wasteland to grow grain. They were self-sufficient. The people who lived there were a straightforward and uninhibited kind. Quickly, Qi Yunruo was captivated by this culture. There were no fancy restaurants around. The pubs were spacious. Outside hung the pub's banners, flapping in the wind. The civilians set up stands on the streets and yelled to bring over customers. Women openly showed their faces in public, selling their embroidered works and sachets to the garrison officers passing by. Qi Yunruo purchased a purse that was sewn with 5-colored thread. He also bought one for Li Chen. With a smile, Li Chen received it. Inside was a small piece of silver. He attached it to his waist. "Will your honored self be going to the welcoming banquet tonight?" Li Chen shook his head. "I don't want to cause too much gossip, so I won't be attending." Qi Yunruo sighed. "Then what about our sheep?" Laughter spilled from Li Chen's lips. Even without the others, we will still have a bite. Just a few of us, including Li Yu, Qi Yunying, and my men. We'll find a spacious place to feast and drink. Ah, good. Come evening time, Li Chen indeed invited a group of people. After they found a spacious area, a guard who was skilled at grilling was given the responsibility of grilling for them. The others were responsible for eating. For tens of people, vast and mighty, just one sheep was not enough. After the first was eaten, a second one was put on the grill. The young men ate and indulged in alcohol. Afterward, they wrestled and competed in martial arts in a wide area. Qi Yunruo lay on Li Chen's knees. After taking a sip of Xiao Daizai, he went into a coughing fit. Li Chen patted his back and laughed as he said, "If you can't handle it then don't drink it." "I just wanted a taste," said Qi Yunruo, amidst his coughing. Who would have known that after a sip, it would burn from his throat to his stomach? He felt as if his whole body were on fire. Li Chen brought him a cup of water. After drinking it, Qi Yunruo felt better, his throat no longer burning as much but his cheeks became flushed. It seemed as though he had gotten drunk. Li Chen felt helpless at the sight. He recalled the relatively non-alcoholic osmanthus wine and how after Qi Yunruo had drunk that, he would nap for a whole afternoon. It was unbelievable. Meanwhile, Qi Yunruo obediently and agreeably leaned on Li Chen, his words becoming few and far in between. Sitting far away, Qi Yunying gripped his wine bowl upon glancing at their way, lowering his head. "Curious," Li Yu said, "why do you look like this? You never told me that you have such a close relationship with your younger brother. Can you not bear to see him attend to his highness?" Qi Yunying gulped down his alcohol. "Depressed," he said, "I feel that a man depending on another man to survive isn't good. If one day the prince no longer wants him and our legitimate mother no longer has a use for him, what could he do? You don't have to worry. Do you really think His Highness is the type of person to throw away someone after being bored of them? Not to mention, the Qi family's young master is a dowry escort. It won't be easy for him to leave Prince Chun's estate. As long as His Highness does not let go, he will belong to the prince estate for the rest of his life." Li Yu had tried to reassure him. However, once Qi Yunying heard his words, his expression darkened even more. In another corner was the Zhou family's uncle and nephew pair. Zhou Linjian ate as he said, "Prince Chun's measures should not be underestimated. Looks like the Qi family will advance." But Zhou Shunye kept looking at the person that Prince Chun was hugging. Zhou Linjian followed his nephew's gaze to look in that direction. He couldn't help but smile. Didn't Her Majesty, the Empress, say this before? Those who attend to His Highness, Prince Chun, cannot be trusted. The Qi family is too ambitious. They are not satisfied with just one main consort. When His Highness left for the border, another one followed along. Could it be that he wants His Highness to protect him on the battlefield? Li Chen carried Qi Yunruo back to their tent as the latter was already fast asleep. The corners of his mouth were greasy from the mutton. Li Chen wiped it clean with his handkerchief, removed his clothes, and pulled the covers over him. He sat on the side of the bed and gazed at his calm sleeping face. Clever, well-behaved, clean-minded and sensible. Li Chen felt that he could not find a better lover than little Qi. The next day, little General Yu brought the newspaper from the capital and 2 letters from the Prince Chun's estate. Qi Yunruo woke up early in the morning and went outside to thank him. Because Li Chen was busy, he said, "Little Qi, read them for me." "All right." Qi Yunruo opened the letter, gave it a look yet did not say anything. After Li Chen had put on his body armor, he directed his gaze at him, somewhat perplexed. Qi Yunruo said, "Consort Wei gave birth to the second young master in March. Her Highness, the Princess Consort, is also with child again. The pregnancy should be more than 2 months." Li Chen took brisk, long strides over and received the letter. The second young master's birthday was on February 29. Because Li Chen was not in the capital, the emperor took pity on this child, and on the third day, the day of cleanse, he bestowed the child the name of Ji. Once Qinikan learned about the pregnancy, the empress bestowed her many gifts. Then the letter wrote that Prince Yang had moved out into his own estate, with his wedding planned for July. Congratulations, Your Highness! Your honored self has gained 2 children. Li Chen was indeed happy. If the princess consort was able to give birth to a son, it would be the best case scenario. Li Ji, Li Ji. What a good name! Consort Wei was born from a scholarly family, so she definitely would raise this child well. Gaze falling upon Li Chen's smile, Qi Yunruo felt a slight chill brush over his heart, feeling somewhat lost. Having children was a good thing. The more children His Highness had, the greater the fortune. Once the sons matured, they would be like His Highness, helping the emperor fight on the battlefield, working their hardest for their father. Li Chen smiled. He went to the side to write a letter. What does the other letter say? Qi Yunruo opened the second one. In an instant, his expression brightened. Brother Ji took 3rd place in the imperial exams. His Majesty hand-picked him and now he is preparing to enter Hanlin Academy to start his position. Hanlin Academy? Secondary consort Ji's grandfather was the Grand Secretary of Hanlin Academy, and had worked there for many years, nurturing many students. Secondary consort Ji and his birth mother had enmity with brother Ji. What would they do to him? Li Chen rose to his feet. Yet his expression wasn't as morose as Qi Yunruo's. Don't worry. Ji Huan isn't as weak as you think. With his ability, he will definitely find a way out even when faced with a dead end. Qi Yunruo nodded. Qi Yunchen placed in the 2nd category, 11th rank. The emperor had him stay in the capital. He received a position in the Imperial Censorate. Imperial Censorate. Not bad, said Li Chen. Once Li Chen finished putting on his boots, he said, I have to leave now. You can go outside for a stroll. Make sure to bring some money. If someone causes trouble with you, don't be afraid to come and tell me. Never mind, just bring guard Fang. Qi Yunruo smiled. How could there be so many bad people? Li Chen gazed at him. A young man with such exquisite beauty near the border naturally would attract attention. Yet the person in question could not see it. Once Li Chen had left, Qi Yunruo's smile vanished. He sat by the bed, bitterness settling in his heart. He felt jealous but also ashamed, embarrassed, and hurt. He was gradually resembling those women back in the prince estate. But he did not have the ability to be like Consort Ji or the princess consort, arrogantly standing and displaying his indignant resentment. Because whatever the prince did was warranted. His Highness could not only belong to one person. Much less, a person like him. Qinikan had said it correctly. He was something Count Xiang's estate did not want. Something casually sent to Prince Chun to warm the bed. His Highness treated him too well. So well, that he had forgotten himself. End chapter. Fpyq Jiang. Chapter 29. Trust. Sita was born and raised in the capital, and as such did not have much of a background in the northwest. However, he was stationed there for many years. When Count Xiang had guarded the border, Sita was only a low-ranking officer. Now, he was a high-ranking general in charge of an area. Sita had a stern countenance, his body was tall and thin. Compared to Zhao Weidu, he seemed to live in comfort. Sita and Zhao Weidu climbed the stairs to the top of the city wall. They spoke of the Qiang people's attempt in invading their territory. Zhao Weidu asked, "What's the situation at Zenyuan country?" "The spies we sent said Zenyuan country did not seem to have the intention of attacking," Sita said. "However, they have continuously sent their grain to the leader of the Qiang people, Agu Mu. Xinyuan country was located in a fertile region. To its border were the Luo River and Yun River. These two rivers originated from that land. Originally, the place Xinyuan country was now situated had been the territory of several of the smaller ethnicities at the border, where they had all lived in a compact community. Then many years ago, Xinyuan country suddenly appeared. The Han people was 1/3 of its population. Their language, both written and spoken, was that of the Chinese. In the past, Xinyuan country colluded with the Qiang people to take down the great state of Kong. But because of their small population and lack of power, nothing large occurred. Zhao Weide furrowed his brows. Where is their main military power located? Sida's smile was somewhat cold. The Qiang people had suddenly attacked us and we lost several tens of thousands of men. What's most hateful was that they did not have a set encampment and moved to another area each time. The quickest this took was 1 day. Or, they would have their army scatter and hide. For this reason, this humble general could not rashly set off to battle. However, General Sito thought that with 100,000 men, failure would be impossible. Then they were ambushed. There were only 40,000 survivors. The defeated army returned in a sorry state. As soon as Zhao Weide heard those words, he went quiet for a while. Then he said, based on the Qiang people's tendency to use guerrilla warfare, how could it have led to Yuè Pass being in such a sorry state? Impassively, Sita asked, is General Zhao blaming this humble general for being useless? Zhao Weide stared him straight in the eye. General C, this general is only lamenting. You shouldn't think this general is looking down on you. You and I are both generals that the court has sent to keep peace at the border. Could it be that instead of eliminating our enemies, we would fight each other at the very start? Sita kept quiet for a moment before saying, it's been said that General Zhao has a rash personality and in the past had even beaten up an imperial censor. Today, this humble general has discovered those words to be lies. Zhao Weide did not respond to that. He took his time saying, everyone has their own view of life and way of thinking. Where is Prince Chun? Sita asked. When will the leading general introduce Prince Chun to this humble general? Zhao Weide shot him a strange look. Why must this general introduce you to a commander of 100? This caught Sita in surprise. He smiled. This humble general understands. The first thing Zhao Weide did when he had arrived at Yuè Pass was manage Situ Su's remaining 40,000 men. Those who had committed crimes would receive punishment. Those who had done something of merit would be rewarded. After that, he would add them to the large army. He fell into his thoughts for a moment, and decided to have his consulting general, Yu Pengfei, and Prince Chun, Li Chen, deal with this matter together. Yu Pengfei was in charge of internal work. He was meticulous. This matter was best suited for him. As for Prince Chun, it's because Zhao Weide saw that he was not interested in the matters concerning battle. He also felt that the duty of assimilating the new troops into the army could not be done by others. Prince Chun's identity could suppress the generals who had lost in the prior battle. 40,000 people could not be considered a small number. After they had lost the battle, from the top ranks to the bottom ranks, their morale had fallen down. Even their leading general had perished. They had carried the hopes of forging a distinguished career through military merit by coming here, yet they had obtained such a result. There was also the possibility they would be punished. Even the generals that were of a decent rank felt worried. As mentioned prior, Yu Pengfei had been tasked with writing the names of those people in the military records once again. Yu Pengfei was the person Qi Yunruo knew as Little General Yu. He was young and kind. Qi Yunruo really took a shine to him, and he and Little General Yu's subordinates assisted in that task. On the other hand, Li Chen went to interrogate the mid to higher ranked generals. One by one, he asked them what had happened leading to Situ Su's death. Li Chen wanted to know in clear terms why Situ Su had rashly gone out to battle. Which path did he take? Who did he fight? In whose hands did he die? At night, Qi Yunruo and Little General Yu ate dinner together. Li Chen went to find Yuè Hóu and report what he had learned. Li Chen placed a map in front of Yuè Hóu. This is Mount Qi. This is Mount Bezi. And this is Yuè Hóu Valley. This is where General Situ Su was ambushed and killed. General Situ Su was a god of war. How would he not have known that flatlands were the best places to launch an ambush? At that time, they were at Yuè Hóu Valley. The opponent only needed to charge down from Mount Qi and Mount Bezi, and he would have no opportunity to retaliate. A consulting general said General Situ had a trusted spy. It was he who told General Situ that the enemy was at Yuè Hóu Valley. Yuè Hóu frowned. Who's this person? Apparently it's a young merchant who stays in the border all year round and was very experienced. Back then, many people were suspicious of him. However, General Situ placed immense trust in him. Did Sita know about this? Li Chen smiled. I also want to know this. No matter what, Sita is the one who's most knowledgeable of the events back then. That spy probably disappeared or even died. It's unclear if Sita had ever met this person. Yuè Hóu's expression darkened. The opposing army had at most a few tens of thousands of men. Why was it that no matter what, we could not win against them? First, it could be that the enemy often had its men scatter, and there was no true leading army among the rest. Second, the opposing army could be experts at launching surprise attacks, and would attack only during the night. Whether they were successful or not, they would still retreat after. Third, there were spies among us. Your Highness does not know that the majority of the population at Yuè Pass are Han people. This is true of the merchants as well. It's hard to guard against. Meanwhile, Qi Yunruo recorded the names of the soldiers into the military records as he chatted with Little General Yu. Little General Yu was not someone born and raised in the capital. He and Li Yu came from the same place. His father was the deputy governor of the region consisting of the Yangtze River and Zhejiang County. Little General Yu said, "You should practice your calligraphy more. Your characters are too soft and feminine." Really? Qi Yunruo tilted his head to look at him. Little General Yu nodded. He massaged his tired shoulders. Last night's Heluo mutton sure was good. Delicious but not gamey. Qi Yunruo nodded. Curious, he said, you're from Jiangnan. There must be many foods in the south that we don't have here. When I first arrived at the capital, the food took some time get used to, said Little General Yu. But after following the army to the south and north for battle these past few years, I can eat anything. A while later, Qi Yunruo bid him goodbye and returned to his shelter. On the way, he saw Li Chen making his way to him. Qi Yunruo waited in place for him to arrive. A smile graced Li Chen's lips. What did you eat today? Noodles. Li Chen nodded. Wait for me here for a moment. Then he went to find Little General Yu for a chat. Qi Yunruo waited for almost 15 minutes, before Li Chen exited the shelter. Let's go. Qi Yunruo had on a blue robe, his hair messy from the wind. Although their temporary quarters wasn't a military tent, it wasn't uncomfortable. There was only one bed and one table inside. With a closet and clothes rack as well, most of the space was taken up. The sky grew dark in a flash. Qi Yunruo lit the lights and went outside to fetch water. After that, he took a convenient trip to the kitchens for 2 flaky pastries as a nighttime snack. Li Chen removed his boots and soaked his feet. Qi Yunruo presented a flaky pastry to him. Li Chen received it but did not eat it. The pastry was salty, though tasty. Qi Yunruo already finished his. He drank a cup of water and went to brush his teeth. After he tossed out the dirty water, he lay on the bed. Li Chen saw that Qi Yunruo was busy and felt that he usually did not have a chance to relax. It felt as if all his worries and fears had left him. On the bed, Qi Yunruo rolled to his side and asked, "Will your highness go off to battle?" Li Chen grunted, signifying for Qi Yunruo to continue speaking. "I don't really understand." If we're here to repel the Qiang people, even if we exterminate all the other tribes and ethnicities, at what time would your honored self personally enter battle? It could be very soon, or very far in the future. Oh, Qi Yunruo stared at Li Chen's profile, a sense of sorrow that he could not put into words suddenly flaring in his heart. This was such an outstanding man, with the potential to rule the whole country and the power to surround himself in beauties, as long as he wanted it. He himself was merely a fleck of dust floating in the world, alone and with no one to rely on. Li Chen looked at the sky and slowly said, "Were you tired today?" Qi Yunruo pulled away from his thoughts and shook his head. "No. I only had to record names in the military logs." Little General Yu met with each of the officers who were of the commander of 100 rank and above, asking them how many men were under their command. Then he compared the old military logs with the new one, and revised them both. "Little General Yu should be more tired than me. These people were in desperate need of winning a battle. This way, they could expel their shame and disappointment from losing the last one." Li Chen lightly sighed and closed his eyes. The next day, Li Chen met with Zhao Weidu to discuss some matters. Qi Yunruo stayed in the quarters for a while. Then he went to find Little General Yu. But he found that Little General Yu was at the rear counting the rations, and wasn't at his quarters. Li Chen's guards had been arranged to join Zhao Weidu's personal guards, and were training every day. Here, there were no other people he recognized. Qi Yunruo took his time entering the street by himself. The fear that had used to plague his heart resurfaced. Ever since he became the prince's person, he felt he could not find a way to make friends. He had become someone who relied on the prince. When the army had first set off, those guards from Li Chen's estate had treated him with respect, but a clear line was drawn between them. Li Yu spoke in a frivolous manner, which made others not want to get close to him. The Zhou family's uncle and nephew pair would sometimes send him looks of scrutiny and disdain. In the 2 months trip from the capital to the border, Qi Yunruo did not speak much to other people. Qi Yunruo looked at the 5-colored purse hanging from his waist. There were many people walking in the street, but he felt as if he were isolated from the world. He did not know that when he had left the army encampment, some people had caught sight of him, their stares boring into his body. It was 2 Han men. They followed him for a long distance. The taller one clicked his tongue and said, "I really can't see a person like that being able to fight. Is there really no one in the great state of Kong who can go to war?" The eyes of the other man held a chill. "He looks like he can't lift his shoulders or arms. Where does it look like he's here to fight? I'm afraid one of the generals brought him to warm the bed." The taller one said, "Was it Zhao Weidu?" "Au, I've never heard that Zhao Weidu had such preferences." Au narrowed his eyes dangerously. "Yesterday, I received a letter from His Highness. Someone from the capital had leaked news to him. The great state of Kong sent one of their princes, Prince Chun." "Oh? That's interesting. Let's go. Let's capture him. We'll use him as a meeting gift for that Prince Chun." Au glared at his companion. He furrowed his brows and said, "After Situ Su died and Fu Yangzheng sneaked out of the encampment, the soldiers of the border have searched us Han people even more strictly. If we strike at this time, we won't be able to leave Yuè Pass. So why do this?" The face of the taller one showed his unwillingness. Au said, "Don't forget the mission that His Highness have for us. We need to work with the Qiang people, with us in the inside and them on the outside. We need to wait until their General Bo 2K advances into Yuè Pass before we can strike." "All right. I'll listen to you." The two of them trailed Qi Yunruo a long distance more, until he stopped at a wine shop. They shared a look and followed him in. The full name of Au was Yuan Fpyq. He and the other man, Cha He, were spies the king of Zenyuan country planted into Yuè Pass. And Fu Yangzheng was the person who had gained Situ Su's trust and convinced him to leave Yuè Pass. The leader of the Qiang people, Yuè Mu, had 8 sons. The eldest was born from the main consort, Gu Li Qiu, and was named Bua Gur, which meant a person of great knowledge and wisdom. The second son was born from a Yuè Hóu's favored consort, Ii. His name was Fpyq, meaning eyes as sharp as an eagle's. And he was the current leading general of the Qiang people. In the wine shop, Qi Yunruo listened as a storyteller spoke of the northwest border. Specifically, about the war and battles at Yuè Pass. Every 2 to 3 years, the Qiang people would try to rush into the pass. Ever since the Li dynasty was established, there has been more than 100 clashes. In this old one's opinion, the one most worth mentioning was from 40 years ago. That was during General Qi Ran's time. The snowstorm back then had been the heaviest in a century. It was white all around, no one could see what's in front of them. The Qiang people's 8 largest tribes attacked, thick furs covering each of them. Whereas, our people were so cold they could not even don their body armor. Back then, Qi Ran had been a young general. He watched as the enemy army approached Yuè Pass and opened the city's gates. He held a spear with a red tassel and led his own men out. Their torsos bare, their weapons flying in slaughter, night and day hardly differentiable. The next day, the snow around had been stained red with blood. The Qi family lost several thousand men, yet it quieted the Qiang people for 6 years. Someone said, if there was someone still around from the Qi family's army, we won't have to be this scared. The court had sent 100,000 men and more than half perished. And we couldn't even find the Qiang people's army encampment. This time, they sent another 100,000 men. But I'm afraid they won't last a month. Sitting in the corner, Cha He lightly said, the great state of Kang's emperor throws away those he doesn't like and keeps close the ones he does. He has abandoned the old generals who had military power and the skill to lead armies. In the present, of these people, Situ Su was considered one of the best. This Zhao Weidu? I have never heard of him. Whereas, the Qiang people are stupid, but they are incredible when it comes to battle. This is part of the schemes of our king. Once the Qiang people and the people of the great state of Kang fight it out, and both sides suffer heavy casualties, it would be our chance to enter Yuè Pass. Yuan Fpyq smiled. Qi Yunruo purchased a bag of pastries to bring back. He was still thinking about what the storyteller had said. About the Qi family's Qi Ran. Qi Ran was his great-grandfather and had passed away in his 40s. Qi Yunruo had never met him, but he admired him all the same. Suddenly, he felt worried. If what those people had said was true, then that meant the border was dangerous. Did His Highness have a plan to repel the enemies? He lowered his head as he returned to the house. The worried expression gradually vanished. Why was he questioning this? How could His Highness not have a plan? Come evening time, Qi Yunruo prepared the pastries he had purchased as Li Chen's nighttime snack. Li Chen appeared even more exhausted than yesterday. Qi Yunruo fetched a basin of hot water and helped wipe Li Chen down. Then he sat by his side to massage his forehead. Li Chen reached for his hand, stopping it. Closed his eyes. What did you do today? I went out for a stroll and listened to some people tell stories. Oh. Qi Yunruo tilted his head. They talked about the Qi family's army. Li Chen did not comment for a while, before finally breaking the silence. The Qi family's army had long since been decommissioned. When Li Chen had been in his youth, he heard of the mighty strength of the Qi family's army. This army was passed down from the dynasty's founding generation, father to son after the death of the former. An incredible army that protected the border of the great state of Kang. Over 10 years ago, once Count Xiang released his military power, the generals of the Qi family's army were transferred to other armies. The normal soldiers either went to farm or entered different armies as well. Now, the Qi family army could not be brought back together. Qi Yunruo looked at his tired face. In a gentle voice, he said, Your Highness, from now on we will have the Zhao family's army and the Yu family's army. If the Xiongnu are not exterminated completely, it will be impossible for us to have a home. Which man would allow his land to be invaded by others? I believe that your honored self will have a powerful army, one that will strike fear into the hearts of our enemies. One that is even more incredible than the Qi family's army. As long as your honored self is here, Yuè Pass will have hope. These were Qi Yunruo's true feelings. He trusted and believed strongly in Li Chen. As if as long as he were here, there would be no danger. Li Chen opened his eyes and looked at Qi Yunruo's quiet expression. His heart trembled as he found that Qi Yunruo's feelings towards him was sincere. So he actually trusts in me this much. In a natural manner, he sat up and reached out to pull the other person into his chest. A moment later, there was a soft sigh. End chapter.